Imagine a time when Afro-Argentinians constituted a whopping 37% of the population in 1778. Fast forward 79 years to 1857 and prepare to be flabbergasted, because the number dwindled to a mere 15%. Where did they all go? Today, Argentina boasts a minuscule black population of only 5%, making it the lowest among all Latin American countries. Argentina is like that one friend who always manages to disappear during group photos, when the topic of Afro-Argentinians comes up. Most Argentinians play the ultimate history dodgeball. They claim Argentina never took part in the slave trade, or that those Afro-Argentinians just up and left the country naturally. But what sorcery could have caused such a drastic change, you ask? Brace yourself for the jaw-dropping truth. Argentina's black population was, quite literally, erased from history. Yes, you heard that right. The Spanish conquest and colonization of Argentina brought hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans to its shores. We're talking about ships packed with people, sailing the high seas, destined for a new life in the land of gauchos and mate. By the late 16th century, these brave souls began their journey to Argentina, and boy, did they make an impact. Fast forward to the mid-1700s, and guess what? Approximately 1/3 of Buenos Aires' population was Afro-Argentine. That's like a whole lot of rhythm and soul in the air. These Afro-Argentines weren't just sitting around, oh no. They toiled as domestic servants, working tirelessly on plantations in the Rio de la Plata region. Talk about hard work and determination. They were the backbone of Argentina's early development. And guess where else you'd find a significant number of Afro-Argentines? Yep, you guessed it, the Argentinian army. General San Martin's army, in particular, was teeming with brave Afro-Argentine soldiers. These warriors were promised freedom from slavery in exchange for the military service. It was like the ultimate fight for freedom deal, with a side of danger. But let's not forget the irresistible allure of the tango. Argentina's beloved dance didn't emerge out of thin air. It has its roots in African culture, intertwining with European immigrant influences to create the magical rhythm we all know and love. In fact, the very name tango is said to have survived the transatlantic passage with enslaved Africans. The earliest instances where the tango dance is documented are from paintings that show Afro-Argentinians as the originators of the dance form. Sadly, in a well-computed manner, the influence of Africans or Afro-Argentinians on the tango dance has been erased by white Argentina, just like everything to do with black people. Well, here's how they managed to do so. In the second half of the 19th century, a perfect storm of horror wiped out the Afro-Argentine population. It was like a twisted magic trick, but this time, the disappearing act was all too real. First up, we have the infamous Paraguayan War of 1865. Argentina, knowing full well that Afro-Argentinians wouldn't fare well in the conflict, decided to play a deadly game. They conscripted these brave black men en masse, sending them straight into the heart of battle, where thousands met their untimely end. But wait, there's more! The decimation didn't stop there. A deadly blow came in the form of the cholera outbreak that mercilessly ravaged Buenos Aires in the 1860s. And guess who suffered the most? You got it, the Afro-Argentinian community. Forced to live in squalor, they became the primary targets of these devastating outbreaks. Talk about a double whammy. The disease swept through their ranks, and survival became a near impossible feat. As if that weren't enough, these ruthless circumstances forced black women into unexpected alliances. They had no choice but to procreate with white or mixed Argentinian men, leading to a drastic gender imbalance within the Afro-Argentine population. In 1871, yellow fever struck with a vengeance. Once again, Afro-Argentinians were hit hard, and thousands paid the ultimate price. It was like a relentless assault on their very existence. These horrifying living conditions were a direct result of racial segregation. White and black people were kept apart, denying Afro-Argentinians even the most basic necessities of life. It was a cruel and unjust reality that crushed any hope of proper sanitation or healthcare. Talk about a system designed to ensure their suffering. After these devastating disease outbreaks, many Afro-Argentinians saw no other choice but to flee for their lives. Some sought refuge in Brazil or Uruguay, desperately seeking better living conditions and a shred of dignity. It was like a heart-wrenching escape from a nightmare. Now, here's a thought-provoking question to keep the conversation flowing in the comments. If you could step back in time and change one aspect of Argentina's history to ensure a different outcome for the Afro-Argentinian community, what would it be and why? Let's hear your intriguing ideas and spark a discussion about rewriting history for a more inclusive and equitable future. Moving on. Domingo Faustino Sarmiento, Argentina's president from 1868 to 1874, had a sinister agenda. This white supremacist leader was determined to eliminate Afro-Argentinians and reshape the country's history. Sarmiento believed that Argentina's path to global prestige and influence hinged on the eradication of Afro-Argentinians. He saw their presence as an obstacle to achieving their social status of the United States and Europe. And so, covert genocide unfolded, carefully targeting those with African origins. Under Sarmiento's oppressive rule, segregation became official policy, confining Afro-Argentinians to slums devoid of basic sanitation and healthcare. Minor and fabricated crimes sent them to prisons, while mass executions and military conscription further decimated their population. The influx of white European immigrants, like a tidal wave, increased Argentina's white population between 1861 and 1914, when 2.27 million Italians came to Argentina, drowning out the memory of Afro-Argentinians. Sarmiento's vision of a whitewashed Argentina, free from any trace of its vibrant black presence, was becoming a reality. In 1848, Domingo Sarmiento wrote in his diary, "In the United States, 4 million are black, and within 20 years there will be 8 million. What is to be done with such blacks, hated by the white race? Slavery is a parasite that the vegetation of English colonization has left attached to the leafy green of freedom." As soon as Sarmiento's covert genocide created an impact of epic proportion, the white immigrants began flooding Argentina. The next task was to delete and rewrite history. The history of Argentinians was to be whitewashed so that no one could ever recall that black people once had a vibrant presence in Argentina. Paintings of triumphant Argentine armies conveniently excluded any trace of non-white soldiers. It was like playing a game of Where's Waldo with Afro-Argentinians, except they were purposefully invisible. The ruling class meticulously crafted an illusion of a white Argentina, erasing the very existence of Afro-Argentinians. Fast forward to today, and you'd think Argentina has never had a black population. Over 97% of the population proudly claims European descent, while a mere 0.4% acknowledge their African heritage. It's a mind-boggling distortion of reality. But here's the kicker. This shocking history has been conveniently omitted from school curricula worldwide. It's as if the powers that we want us all to forget. Argentinians now rest in the comfort of their amnesia, with thoughts such as, Argentina has no black people, so it can't be racist. But this notion is false, because Argentina has a history of Afro-Argentinians that was wiped away. And there you have it, my curious viewers. We've journeyed through Argentina's hidden history, unearthing the shocking truth about the deliberate erasure of Afro-Argentinians. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, from disbelief to outrage, but knowledge is power. However, all these have kept me wondering, what are your thoughts and perceptions about the untold story of Afro-Argentinians and the deliberate erasure of the history? Let's keep the conversation burning in the comment section. Until next time, my fearless explorers, keep questioning, keep learning, and let's shape a world where no history is left in the shadows.